What is internet? That is nothing but the interconnection between computer devices to share the data and communicate each other. These communication media either Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, wide area network or satellite network. What is this IIoT? That's nothing but Industrial Internet of Things. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on digital fluency, and the topic is Internet of Things. I am Revati from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, in my today's session, I am going to deal with introduction about Internet of Things. Along with that, I am going to deal with what is Internet of Things. Along with that, the different components of an Internet of Things. Along with that, I am going to deal with the key benefits of IoT. Anyway, dear student, before going to start my today's session, let's revise the things which I have discussed in my last session. So, dear student, I started with data science. So, what is this data science? That is nothing but the study about data. So, what is this study about data? That is nothing but how the data are organized, how to clean the data, how to prepare the data, how the data are generated. All those things are going to study under data science. Then I have discussed big data. So what is this big data? The size of the data is large or huge or massive, and it is measured in terms of petabyte or yottabyte or zettabyte. Along with that, I have discussed the different sources of big data. Along with that, I have discussed the characteristics of big data, that is nothing but 3V: velocity, variety as well as volume. Along with that, I have discussed what are the different types of big data tools as well as software. Along with that, I have discussed big data is used in our daily life. So these are the topic I have discussed in my last session. So dear student, from the examination point of view, what is data science? What is big data? The sources of big data as well as the characteristics of big data is very important. But in my today's session, I'm going to deal with IoT. So what is this IoT? Here, IoT is nothing but the Internet of Things. So what is this Internet of Things? Before that, tell me what is internet. Here internet is nothing but the network. Now tell me why I require internet. There are certain situation, some system want to communicate each other. So communication in the sense what? They have to send the data, at the same time they have to receive the data, and they have to share the data. For that, I require net connection. So what is internet? That is nothing but the interconnection between computer devices to share the data and communicate each other. So if I consider thing, so what is thing here? There is nothing but all the electronic appliances or all the electronic devices. So what is this Internet of Things? That means I'm going to connect and control all the electronic devices through net connection or through internet, that is known as IoT. That is nothing but Internet of Things. So here IoT stands for Internet of Things, which means accessing and controlling daily usable equipment as well as devices using internet. For example, think that if I want to control AC, or if I want to control heater, or if I want to control refrigerator, and how I'm going to control? By using internet. That means I'm going to use IoT to control all this equipment. So the thing in IoT, that means what is thing here? Thing can be any device. So thing can be any device with any kind of built-in sensor. So thing can be any electronic device, but they must have sensor. And what kind of sensor? That is built-in sensor with the ability to collect and transfer the data. That means thing must have sensor, and what is the job of the sensor? Is to collect the data as well as transfer the data over a network without manual intervention. So here thing is nothing but all the electronic device or all the electronic appliances, and that must have built-in sensor, and these sensors must able to collect the data as well as transfer the data over a network. So IoT is a concept that connects all the device to the internet. That means suppose if I want to connect all the electronic device, then I must have internet connection and tell them. That means I'm going to instruct the electronic device to communicate each other via the internet. That means by using electronic appliances or electronic devices are going to communicate each other. That is known as IoT. So here Internet of Things is a network of physical object. So what is IoT here? That is nothing but the network of physical object. So what is this physical object? That is nothing but all the devices or people. Devices or people called thing that are embedded with. So I'm going to embed all the devices or people with the software or electronics or network and sensor that allow these objects to collect the data as well as exchange the data. So what is Internet of Things? It is nothing but the network of devices or people used to embedded with the software, electronics, network as well as sensor in order to collect the data as well as exchange the data. So here the main goal of IoT is to extend to internet connectivity from standard devices like computer, mobile, tablet to relative dumb device like toaster. So what is the main job of the IoT? Is to establish connection between computer or mobile or tablet. Even I can able to include toaster. So IoT makes virtually everything smart. That means by using IoT, virtually I'm going to connect all the devices. So I'm going to create smart home or smart house or smart office. So here I can able to use the word smart. That is, IoT makes virtually everything smart by improving aspects of our life with the power of data collection, that is AI, that is artificial intelligence algorithm as well as network. The entire IoT process starts with the device. That means to establish connection, or if I want to create smart house, I must have following equipment or devices. That's nothing but the component of IoT, that is component of Internet of Things. So what are the components I required? I required sensors or devices. Along with that, I required connectivity. Along with that, I required data processing. Along with that, I required user interface. So dear student, from the examination point of view, this is also very important topic, that is explain the components of IoT. So dear student, at the beginning I'm going to have sensor. So what is the job of the sensor? Is to sense. Sense means what? Collect the data. So sensors or devices are the key component that helps to collect live data. Live means what? Real-time data from the surrounding environment. So the job of the sensor is to collect live or real-time data. So sensor, it could be a simple temperature monitoring sensor. That means example for sensor, it may be in the form of video feed. So dear student, the simple example I can able to consider for IoT here is, suppose if I want to control the AC. So what I want to do? I want to connect that AC with my cell phone. To control AC, I required sensor. That means the sensor must be built in with the AC. Then I want to connect that sensor to my cell phone. From the cell phone, I can able to operate AC. To operate AC, what I required? I just required internet connection. A device may have various type of sensors. That means a device can have various type of sensors. Even they can able to perform multiple tasks except sensing. That means the job of the sensor not only sensing, except that it can able to perform different tasks. For example, if I consider mobile phone is a device which has multiple sensors. If I consider our cell phone, it has multiple sensors. That is nothing but GPS or camera. But our smartphone is not able to sense the things. It has sensors like GPS or camera, but the job of the GPS as well as camera is different. That is not the sensor used to sense the things. Now I'm going to have my second component, that is connectivity. So what is this connectivity? All the collected data is sent to the cloud infrastructure. So dear student, when I have huge number of electronic device, each device is responsible for collecting the data, because each device will have sensor. The job of the sensor is to collect the data. Once the data is collected, where I'm going to store the data, I require some platform. And which platform I'm going to use here? That is nothing but cloud infrastructure. So the sensor should be connected to the cloud. All the sensors must be connected to the cloud using various mediums of communication. These communication media either Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, wide area network or satellite network. So dear student, to illustrate this concept, I'm going to consider simple example, that is traffic management system. Traffic management system. If I consider traffic, how these traffics are managed by using IoT. That means we are having camera and it is responsible for sensing the data. So all the captured data are stored in the cloud infrastructure. If there is any accident is happened, then within the fraction of second the information is sent to the hospital as well as police station because of IoT. So this is also one of the best example for connectivity. So dear student, here all the data are stored in the cloud infrastructure and this cloud infrastructure is responsible for sending the data to hospital or police station. Now, I'm going to have my next type of component, that is data processing. Once the data is collected, what is the next step? That is process the data. That is, once the data is collected and it gets to the cloud. That means once the data is collected, that is stored in the cloud. Now, the software is responsible for processing the data. That means in IoT, once again, we are going to use software to execute or process the gathered data. And this process can be just checking the temperature or reading on devices like AC or heater. So what is the job of the data processing? That is just checking the temperature or reading on the devices like AC as well as heater. So it can sometimes also be very complex like identifying object. That means here data processing may be complex object. That means identifying object or computer vision on videos. These kinds of jobs also done by the data processing. That means the collected data must be processed by using some software. Now I'm going to have my last component, that is user interface. So what is this user interface? After processing data or information, I just want to inform the message to the user. For that, I required some media. And here, user interface may be message, that is in terms of message, that is alert message or message sent to the mailbox, etc. So the information needs to be available to the end user. That means after processing the data, the information must be sent to the end user in some ways. How? That is triggering alarm. So, triggering alarm on their phone or sending them notification through mail or text message. So, these are the some examples for user interface. Now, let me to consider the example here. The user has a camera installed in his home. Okay. For example, think that I have home in Mysore, but I am staying at Bangalore. Now, I want to take care about the house which is in Mysore. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix the camera and I'm going to control all these cameras from the Bangalore. How? That means I'm going to connect this camera to my cell phone from the Bangalore. I can able to see or check all the activity. So here the user has a camera installed in the cell phone. He want to access video recording. He want to access video recording and all the feeds with the help of web server. So he or she want to access the video recording and all the feeds of the help of web server. Even I can consider another example, that is, if a user detects any changes in the temperature of the refrigerator, with the help of IoT technology, the user should able to adjust the temperature. That means if there is any changes in the temperature, then user can able to change or adjust the fridge, that is refrigerator temperature, with the help of IoT. Now the applications of IoT. So here IoT can be used to connected cars. That means IoT helps automobile company handle billing, parking as well as insurance. That means IoT can be used by the connected cars. That means to improve their services. Most of the manufacturing, that is automobile company, they can able to use IoT. Example, billing, car parking or insurance and other related stuff automatically. Then activity tracker. That means with the help of IoT, you can able to track the activities like heart rate pattern or calorie expenditure or activity level as well as skin temperature on your wrist. Now, if I consider next application, that is parking sensor. With the help of IoT, we can able to identify parking area. So IoT technology helps user to identify real-time availability of parking space on their phone. Next application is connected health. The concept of a connected healthcare system facilitates real-time health monitoring and patient care with the help of improved medical decision making based on the patient data. Now, suppose if I use connected healthcare, then I can able to provide better medical facility. Now, if I consider smart city, so what is this smart city? Suppose if I want to control and manage garbage or traffic or water pollution, all those things are done by using IoT. Smart home. If I want to control all the electronic appliances in our home, then I can able to use IoT. It detects smoke, home appliances, light bulbs, windows, door lock, etc. Then smart supply chain helps you in real time tracking of goods. So by using IoT, I can able to perform real time tracking of goods while they are on the road to get the proper information where exactly the particular goods are present, the location, quantity, everything handled by using IoT under smart supply chain management. So dear student, these are some of the applications of Internet of Things. Moving further, I'm going to have IIoT. So what is this IIoT? There's nothing but Industrial Internet of Things. Till now, what we discussed, it is related to our real life. That means how we can able to manage all the devices which we are going to use in our daily life. But if I consider industry, in industry, how we can able to use IoT to improve their productivity as well as quality. So Industrial Internet of Things is a subset of IoT mainly used at industrial application. So here IIoT is about connecting machines. That means how we can able to connect machine by using IoT to other machine, or data management and the optimization and productivity, and how we can able to make smart factory or smart industry by using IIoT. So here the Industrial Internet of Things is the use of smart sensor. That means we can able to improve the productivity or quality of the goods by using IIoT. That means by using smart sensors or smart actuators to enhance manufacturing and industrial process. And it's also known as Industrial Internet of Things or Industrial Revolution, that is Industry 4.0. That means what is Industry 4.0? That is nothing but we are planning to make smart industry by using IIoT. So IIoT uses the power of smart machines as well as real-time analysis. So what is this real-time analytics here? That is nothing but we are going to get real-time data. By using IIoT, we can able to take decisions. We can able to manage the productivity as well as quality. Now, how does IIoT works? That means how the Industrial Internet of Things works. Each industrial IoT ecosystem includes connected devices. It includes connected devices that is capable to sense the data, communicates and store the information about themselves, and it includes public or private data communication infrastructure. Along with that, it's going to include analytics and applications that generates business information from raw data. So here the storage for the data is generated by using Industrial Internet of Things storage devices. So these are the components of Industrial Internet of Things ecosystem. Now the key benefit of IoT technology, that means what are the benefits when we use IoT. So it is technical optimization. Technical optimization means what? We are going to use technologies. By using technology, we can able to improve technology as well as marketing. So IoT technology helps a lot in improving different kinds of technologies as well as marketing. Example, with the help of IoT, the manufacturers are able to collect the data from various car sensors. So the manufacturer analyzes them in order to improve the design as well as make them more efficient. That means most of the manufacturers, they are going to use the collected data in order to improve their design as well as quality. So this way we can able to optimize the performance. Now, improved data collection. Improved data collection means what? Traditional data collection has its limitation. Suppose if I go with old technology, then whatever the data we are going to collect by using traditional method, it has its limitation as well as it is designed for passive use. But IoT facilitates immediate action of data. That means whatever the data we are going to collect, the data is processed and immediately the result is sent to the user. It reduces waste. By using IoT, we can able to reduce the wastage. That means it offers real-time information leading to effective decision making as well as management of resource. For example, if manufacturers finds an issue in multiple car engine, he or she can track the manufacturing plan of the engine and resolve the problem or resolve the conflict or identify the defect and find the solution. So it reduces wastage. These are the some of the key benefits of IoT, that is the Internet of Things. So dear student, in my today's session, I started with what is IoT. There's nothing but Internet of Things. Along with that, I have covered Industrial Internet of Things. In my next session, I'm going to deal with cloud computing. Anyway, dear student, let's meet in the next session with the new concept, that is cloud computing. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.